Folks, hello. I think we got it. I am your host, Dan Donahue. Welcome to the live. I'm waiting to see if anyone joins. We've had some of the most frustrating technical difficulties I've ever had in my entire life. I have no idea why I was not able to go live earlier, and I feel bad. I feel bad because obviously I don't think anyone here was beside themselves. Oh, we got Jace in the chat. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Um, really sorry, Jace, if you were waiting for the live. You were one of my most trusted, loyal Danimaniacs, I believe I call you, Danimals. However you want to spin it, however you want to call it. I feel bad. I feel bad when I'm not able to do the technical stuff because it makes me feel like I let you guys down. It makes me feel like I'm incapable. And still, honestly, there's some technical issues, but you know what? We're gonna figure it out. You and me together, and by you and me together, I mean pretty much just me and maybe Jace if Jace stays in the chat. Thanks, buddy. But yeah, we're live. I have a friend now who I hired to help me with this, but I do not pay him enough to deal with this level of my own frustration. I do not pay him enough to deal with my little tizzy fits. So and he's probably gonna watch this in post. So let me just say, Nate, you are a beautiful soul. You're very kind. Thank you for not getting upset at me. Thank you for not yeah, just thank you for being you, buddy. I appreciate it very much. I hope you're listening right now. I hope you're on your computer in a cave somewhere, far, far away from any impediments or distractions. But folks, I gotta say, I'm just glad to be here. Jace, how are you today, buddy? It's just you and me right now. Some people might think that's lonely. Some people might think that's sad. Not me. Not me. I think it's good. I think it's good for just to be me and one other person. If it were more than that, it's gaudy. People think the goal of having a live stream is to have like 100 people in the chat and everybody's happy and getting what they want. And I honestly think it's a just a little bit redundant to have a lot of people in the chat. I think it's unnecessary. I think it hurts the live. So I'm glad it's just me and Jace and maybe one other person. You're in a good mood today, which is nice for a change. Jace, that's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. I'm very happy to hear that. In a good mood. Are we? Come on. You know what? I'm throwing some hundreds in the chat for you, buddy. What put you in a good mood, would you say? Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I did get a new haircut. I went to a barber shop right by my place. We're very, very, very nice man. You know, I gotta say, this sucks so far. My live ness right now sucks. And the reason is because I'm still a little bit frustrated from the whole, whatchamacallit. I'm still frustrated from having to deal with the whatchamacallit, the live settings and stuff. So I'm very sorry. This live sucks. This live sucks and is going to suck. Is it even worth putting something out right now? I really don't know. I feel bad, though. Oh. It's Chad, too, and I watched you dancing in the Dorian video. I'm wondering what else you've been in. Oh, hey, Chad. Yeah. Oh, that's nice, man. I mean, I goddamn, I love Dorian so much. Dorian's so fun. That's pretty much the only thing I've been in. I was in a music video with a bunch of guys, the really bad rappers. I was in a music video with two very, very, very bad rappers, and they tried making a music video about the Illuminati, which not that the Illuminati exists, but these guys didn't even know about the non-existing Illuminati. These guys suck so hard it's crazy. So basically, I was in their music video. They wanted me to play a guy who was in the Illuminati. That was the goal of the music video. It was bad. They were bad. The entire idea and concept was bad. And it made me feel dirty being a part of it. So being in Dorian's music video afterwards. Well, yeah, Chad, I'm not saying that there's no large overlying power structure that controls things, but I don't think they call themselves the Illuminati. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm guessing they would have had a rebranding by now. It would be really funny if that was the case. If that was true, if the Illuminati was real. Wouldn't that be awesome? It's like exactly how you picture it. It's like Jay-Z is in a robe. Jay-Z is in a robe in a room. He's getting spanked by whatever, Bill Gates. I hope it is like that. I hope those boys are having fun. If you're going to be in the Illuminati, you might as well have a little bit of fun. But anywho's the wits. I haven't been in any other projects other than the Dorian Electro music video, to be honest with you, and I would like to. If you are a queer hyperpop artist and you would like me to be in your music video, please get me in there. Charlie XEX. Get me in there 100 gex. I would love to throw my hat in the ring. I would love to be a recurring character in queer hyperpop music. I think it would be good for my image. I think it would be good for their image, to be honest with you, okay? I need the work. And you know what? They could use a clean cut straight man like myself there in case the police come. Okay? You might be thinking, "Oh, creatively, Dan, what do you bring to the table for a queer hyperpop artist?" Well, when the police come, do you think they want to talk to them or do they want to talk to me? Okay? Think about that. Until we find equality, until the rights of or the wrongs of society are righted, a guy like me is very, very helpful to the process of talking to the police. You might go, "Oh, Dan, are you pro cop?" No, absolutely. I mean, I think that funds are drastically over allocated to one single form of quote unquote crime prevention when it should be allocated to multiple forms of crime prevention, such as investing in neighborhoods, such as investing in public schools. And I think that investing too much in just police, just boots on the ground, guys with guns, is treating the problem at the very end when it should be treated earlier on. However, when I speak to a police officer, I don't say any of that. When I speak to a police officer, I say, "Hello, sir. I love your Oakley sunglasses." That's what I say. Because I don't have the money for integrity yet. Someday I will. Someday I'll have the money for integrity. But until then, I will be calling police officers sir, and I will be saying thank you for your service, and I will be saying that's a really, really cool Under Armour undershirt that you have on. Can I try it on? I'll go a little too far with them. And they won't like that. I'll say, let me try the shirt on. They'll say no. And they'll give me a look like this. And I'll say, come on. Come on. Jay says his brother is a police officer and he gets way too excited about finding machetes. Interesting. Why? Because I mean, are the machetes being used for murder? Are they murder machetes that your brother is stumbling upon? See, here's the thing. It's a great point. We should be getting to crime before the machetes are bought. Is that crazy of me to say? We should be stopping crime before the machetes are even purchased. And we have a big problem with that as a country. I don't want to get on a soapbox here, but I think as a country, we should probably be dealing with crime, at the level where people are desperate, right? We should make people less desperate. Crimes are generally committed by desperate people or by evil rich people who are completely undesperate. Here's who crimes are generally prevented by. Poor people who are very desperate, and then rich people who aren't desperate enough. I think that's true, honestly. I think you need like a medium level of desperation. I think you need like an intermediate amount of desperation. And I think that would really, really help most people. Most people. He investigates a lot of gang stuff. He found a van full of explosives last week. Your brother does. Your cop brother investigates a lot of crime stuff, and he found a van full of explosives last week. That's very interesting, Jace. But is it possible those explosives were going to be used for good? And maybe your brother stopped a good deed from being committed? What I mean, it just off the top of my head. What if those explosives were being collected to be sold for school supplies for little children? And then you might ask who would be buying the explosives? A collector. Just a honest, hard-working explosives collector. Okay? You don't think they exist? You don't think honest, able-bodied, hard-working explosive collectors, just blue-collar guys who just, they get off work, they take off their boots, they take off their hard hat, they take off the hard hat that's underneath their hard hat, they take off their third hard hat. You ever notice, and I'll get back to the explosives for a good point, but do you ever notice like politicians, when they describe like a blue-collar worker, they will generally go a little too far? They'll be like, they come home every day with dirt on their face. It's like, okay, well, yeah, some people do, but most will wipe the dirt off before they walk in. You're just describing a dirty man. Politicians. Oh, here's a question. Am I able to pin these? No, I guess I'm not. Question. When you write, do you have a plan, or do you just sit down and go with whatever type comes to mind? Do you associate a specific time to stand-up material, or just general creative writing, etc.? Jace, that's a great question. As a non-prolific writer, I don't know how interested people will be in my answer to this, but I do have an answer, so I might as well share it. Um, I uh, I write in the morning before I look at my phone. That's kind of my rule when it's stand up. I'll just kind of write. I'll think about the day before because I write every day. So I'll think about like the day before, and I'll think about anything that like particularly affected me. Like yesterday, the my apartment manager is Ukrainian, and I got a sweatshirt, and it was in a language that I thought she would understand. And so I showed it to her, and I said, "Excuse me, Irina, do you know what this says?" And she furrowed her brow, and she said, "Yes, it says bitch lasagna in Russian." And that was our day, Irina and me. That was our day. And I felt really self-conscious because I was like, "Oh, does she think I knew that? Does she think I knew the definition of those words were going to be B-word lasagna?" And I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know, folks. I hope she does. I hope she knows. And you know what? I think it did bring us closer together. I think it brought us closer together that I showed her a shirt and she said, "Daniel, that says bitch lasagna on it." And then I went, "Sorry." um it's a great question. Any other questions in the chat? Folks, I would like for the chat to get absolutely wild. I would like for the chat to be one of the craziest chats this side of the Mississippi. So if you have anything to add, I got all day to answer questions. Is there anything that's just on your mind? Listen, sometimes people don't add anything to the chat because they go, "Oh, well, I don't have anything to contribute to this." Do you have something you just want to get off your chest, just to throw into the ether? Go ahead and put it on there. I mean, within reason, of course. But is there something just going on in your head, in your mind, in the Reese's Pieces of your mind, where you're like, you know what? This isn't worth saying. This isn't worth contributing to a conversation. Guess what? It is. It is. Okay. Okay. We got some stuff here. Chad said, "If you were to do OnlyFans, how far would you go?" I wouldn't go anywhere, brother. I'll tell you that much. I wouldn't go damn anywhere. You want to know why? I really do believe this. People think that those on OnlyFans, men and women. People who think of OnlyFans folks, by the way, they generally only think of women. But a buddy of mine from back home is very, very successful on OnlyFans, and he's a fella. And I go, you know what? That's hard. I mean, I don't have the integrity of will to show my body to other people online. I mean, the scrutiny would ruin me. Be terrible. Can you imagine that? I mean, you think to yourself, like this happened during the pandemic, which I think is really, really funny. If I'm being honest, one of the funniest things during the pandemic is people. Uh, I even saw a couple of people in comedy start OnlyFans and then give up on it, and that the day the music died. That's brutal, man. I'm saying this as a guy who has failed at so many things in his life. I've failed across the board at so many different things. But that strikes me as particularly brutal. To put up pictures of your breasts online and then the income doesn't warrant you to continue doing so. You don't stop because you you know, You don't stop doing it because you get other things to do, or you have some sort of like a whatever, some sort of a realization that you're not interested in this level of exposure anymore. No, you stop because no one wants to see them. That's tough. That's tough, and I'm sorry to those people. I really am. No joke, that is brutal. Adder0 says, what do I do if someone is doing drugs in the apartment adjacent to mine and it's always giving me a headache? A headache from the drugs in the apartment adjacent? What kind of drugs are we talking here? What kind of drugs are we speaking of here that are giving you a headache? Because I've walked by people doing crack before, and I've gotten a crack cloud directly to the face. And I got to say, great day. I got to say, there was a pretty, and this is, kids, if you're going to smoke crack, do not blow it in someone's face. Because that's rude. Are you sure your headaches are coming from the drugs, though? Because, I mean, that seems odd that your next door neighbors, I mean, if they're smoking weed in their apartment and the weed is giving you a headache, then that's something you can definitely just go over to them and be like, hey, please stop it. Yeah, if it's a meth lab, but I don't know, are there a lot of, I guess there are meth labs in apartments. That's crazy, though. I like to picture if you're going to start a nefarious operation such as that, you would at least have a bungalow. You would at least have, I don't know, a bungalow. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, definitely if you're getting headaches from it, like, I think maybe speaking to them would be a good idea. Maybe going over there and saying, hi, either do less drugs or do enough drugs where I get a secondhand high where it puts me to sleep. Because you're getting a half measure right now. You're getting a half measure, and that ain't good. That ain't good, and I'm going to be honest with you, that ain't right. Ask for a free sample. Exactly. Okay, we got some other questions in here. Oh, I can pin these. Oh, that's cool. Let me see if... Great. Are you neurodivergent? Thoughts on neurodivergent people, likes and dislikes? Listen, neurodivergent people, like all people, come in all shapes, sizes, and levels of being annoying. There are neurodivergent people that are some of the most lovely, beautiful, heartfelt people in the entire world. And there are neurodivergent people that will ruin your weekend. Okay? And that's what it's like. That's what it's like. I feel for neurodivergent people. I mean, obviously, if you're neurodivergent, it means that you're having a tougher time navigating the the ins and outs of life, of the day to day, right? Because the world is set up for the non-neurodivergent, the neurotypical. Is there a difference between neurodivergent and neuroatypical? How long can I go on this topic without someone coming in here and arresting me? I hope you all know I'm doing a very delicate balancing act here, where I'm trying to be funny, but I'm also trying to get away with my genuine opinion that neurodivergent people are great, and I have no issues with them. But I think, yeah, neurodivergent people are great. I like the music they make. Um, what else do I like about them? I like how they'll call you really late at night, and they're usually up really late at night. You're not gonna be able to get off a 3 a.m. phone call with a neurotypical. Okay, you need a diverge. You need a diverge to call up late at night. You go, hey, man, I'm having a really bad time. And they'll go, hey, welcome to the party. No, of course. I'm just being a little silly, Christoph, but I hope that answers your question. Oh, Jace. Jace, I always got to answer the Jace queue. Let's see what we got here, Jace. Okay. I'm sorry I missed your comment, Jace. I said it earlier and you missed it, but it's blown my mind today, so I'll repeat it shamelessly. My dad told me I was diagnosed with autism, and no one told me for 21 years. How do I deal with that? Well, you can look at that one or two ways. You can look at that in a way where you resent your dad and his decisions, which I can understand that. Or you can look at it like this. Jace, you just found out you had autism at maybe the best time in history to find out that you have autism. Because there's a ton of people with it, and they all have Reddit. So you're going to be able to go on there. You're going to be able to learn from all of their experiences. That's a good, beautiful thing. So, but it's tough. That's wild. Was your dad waiting for the right time? Was your dad 21 years? No one told you. They had an idea though. I've had friends, and this is real. I've had friends. I've had people who are very close, with me, pull me to the side and tell me that they were diagnosed with autism, and I gave them my full heart and my full love and my full attention, because that is a reality warping experience. And it's not that autism is a negative thing. It's not that autism is a bad thing. Of course, it can be a really great thing. And people who have autism could do really great things and live great, wonderful lives. But I will say this: none of my friends who have come forward with me and said they have had autism got the reaction from me where I went, no way. Oh, whoa, Christoph. Man, thank you, buddy. Oh, dude, that's truly too much. You do not need to tip that much. That's a very spectacular gesture, man, and I really appreciate that. I've had a really bad dumb. Oh, that you're the fifth person to ever do that, Christoph. You're part of a very small group. I was having such a bad time putting this stream together and figuring out how to use the stream keys and stuff. So, yeah, that's huge. Thank you so much, dude. What do we got here? My dad only talks to me about geography and history. I should have known. Brother Jace, it might run in the family for all you know. That might be why he didn't tell you had autism. He might have just not read the social cues that was the thing to do. Who knows? Oh man. Well, that's beautiful, Jace. And autistic or not, brother, I've really appreciated your presence on this stream. Folks, if you're late to the party, if you're just joining us right now, I want you to throw something in the chat, even if you think it's stupid. Throw something in the chat, even if it's a question that you have, if it's something that's been mulling on in your mind. Go ahead and toss that in the chat arena, because this went. I have to say this: in the beginning of this, I was having kind of an annoying time with my own brain, but now I'm having fun because we've gotten some great, wonderful additions to this beautiful, powerful chat. This core group of people are very, very good. You can even ask me my opinion on things, and I will share them, even if that opinion is bad. Although I truly, all of my opinions are very good and perfect in every way, and I want everyone to remember that. And in the meantime, at least, throw Christov's little tip there, because that's very brave to give a dumbass like me any amount of money. Brave as hell of you, King. Ah. But yeah, after this, I'm going to the Comedy Store. That's going to be exciting. Oh, what do I think of marriage? That's a good question, Jace. It's a really, really, really good question. Oh, we got some good questions coming. Oh, yes. This this is what makes it live. And I'm sorry to put so much pressure on you guys, but it does have so much to do with how much is going on in the chat, how good this live is, and we're about to have some fun. What do I think about marriage is going to be the first one that I answer here. So here's what I'll say about marriage. It's great for the people that are into it, but I think as an ideal in the American mind, it is sort of losing favor. I think the reason for that is the fact that we don't I think the thing that really messed up marriage is its like association with success. And because of that, if you associate anything with success, like relationship wise, people will do it without thinking about it. They just want the image of success. They don't want the actual success. They don't want to actually be in love with someone. If you see someone who dreams of being married, they fantasize about being married. Mostly women do this, right? But some men do it too. They fantasize about marriage. They fantasize about the day of marriage. It makes sense. I understand it. But what they are actually fantasizing about is being in a relationship that is successful enough to be in the marriage. But people get those two things confused, don't they? They get the image of success mixed up with actual success. And that's a dangerous game to be playing. Yes, Chad, I do agree with AC here. This is a really, really great comment. I'm gonna throw this up. Has living in California made you more liberal or more conservative? It's a very, very funny question. Um, it has definitely. So I'll answer this in multiple parts. Number one is the simple answer is it's definitely made me more to the left, just because a lot of my friends here are, and but I also think it was just kind of the times, like the times that we live in, and California really does show you that you can be a really evil person and still be a Democrat. Because you see the changes that are being made in like Los Angeles in particular. By the way, I don't consider Los Angeles to be particularly to the left, and I know that sounds crazy, but I'll tell you why. Most of the people here will vote to the left. Most of the people here would not vote for a Republican. But the Democrats they vote for are damn near close to Republicans. Okay? The Democrats that people vote for here are so close to Republicans, you might as well go, all right, well, where are we mincing words here for? For instance, people see like Los Angeles as this sort of like liberal paradise. And yet we have the worst pollution. We're the most polluted city. There was a study that just came out about that we are the most toxic city. And I'm sure in attitude as well. But the second thing is there is public transit here. We do have buses. We do have trains. They are very poorly maintained. They access such a small portion of the city. And the reason being is because car lobbies had so much to do with the creation of Los Angeles. which is incredibly conservative. So again, it's like, sure, this is a liberal city, quote unquote, but like the policies against homeless people are wild, and you have like a infrastructure that's based around cars, which is a infrastructure based around capitalism. So seeing that and kind of seeing the weird, like, quote unquote liberal hellscape has kind of pushed me more into like, well, I think there are certain socialist policies that I wouldn't have considered before moving here that I'm now like, that makes sense. Jace was engaged when he was 16 to 18. That's crazy. I didn't even know you could be engaged that early. That's wild. All right, we got any other questions? Speaking of marriage, what happened with that couple that invited you to their pool? Wait, this is good. So I do a joke in my act about swingers approaching me. That did actually happen. I did get invited to a pool. I did turn them down. And I'm going to be very gentle here. Let's just go ahead and say, very gently, they were not my type. The swingers that I was involved with were just not really my type. Doesn't mean they can't be your type. Doesn't mean they can't be the type to anybody, but they were just not personally my type. And that's the way it is with swingers sometimes. Okay? That's just the way it is with swingers. Sometimes they come up to you and they offer you the whole world, and you go, sorry. That's a good question, Jace. Would you have done it if they were your type? I don't think so. I ever want another dude in the room when I'm making love. Some people are very comfortable with that situation. Straight guys even are comfortable with that situation. It's not for me. No judgment. No judgment if you're into that. Hey, we all gotta get out the demons. You know what I'm saying? We all gotta exorcise the demons from our bodies, which is what I consider sex to be. But yeah, for me personally, don't know if I want another fella in the room. But then again, I never wanted to see a male therapist, and then I saw a male therapist, and I was like, I should have been seeing a male therapist. So who knows? All right, folks, I'm going to sign off here pretty soon. I appreciate you all for joining. We actually ended up figuring out the live. I'm going to keep doing these. Wednesdays at 4 is my plan. So Wednesday at 4, check it out. Hopefully I'll be able to, schedule it and learn how to do all that stuff. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. Especially, let me give another special shout out. Christoph, thank you so much for the donation. That means a ton, man, and it helps keep this going with my equipment. And I do now have an employee helping me with the podcast, so that's pretty cool. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you. Please join me next time, and as always,